to the Tower of Light. New moon in Aries. It's going to start tomorrow, late at night and into the morning. I think it's going to be in Aries, not new moon, but in Aries today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that cosmic energy, but then I want to really tune into some of what's really been coming through with Mary Magdalene, and that is, can you feel that there is just such a potential for you to surge forward right now?
Yes.
It's like palatable, and what is really evident is like our old patterns that have kept us stuck. It's like you can really feel your choice. No one's making you do it, it's like, and you have experienced not doing it, so you know your way through, but we're just still in that little hiccup. And, what we're going to play with today, what she's been showing me, is almost like this parallel universe of you living beside you that is without fear. And, we're never going to be fearless, because that's part of, it's almost like fear is gravity. It almost like keeps us on the ground. But we can have that feeling. We came here to learn about it, but that does not mean we have to be ruled by it. That's a different choice altogether. And I just did the death practice again yesterday, and I always read this book, Merging with the Infinite, with Yogi Bhajan before I go and do it. Come on in. And there's this one section where he says, fear can keep you from ever living your life, or fear can drive you to live like you've never lived before. And he said, and love can drive you towards the woman, the man, the career, or love can drive you towards God. These are these palatable energies that we come to Earth to use. And so when we get into we're going to move the body, we're going to do this chant. When we get into the vortex tonight, what is going to happen is it's almost like there's these wavy lines like right here. And you can step through and you're in a different part of your reality. And we're going to do that. And that in that place, it's what is it like when we are not making decisions out of fear. We can be afraid, but do it anyway. We've always heard that. And that's what really works those spiritual muscles, right? It's never required that we don't feel it. I mean, what fun would that be? I mean, I guess it would be fun. But the more we face it, the more fear is just another thing on earth. You're not paralyzed by it. It's just something that is floating around in the consciousness, and we don't have to be ruled by it. Now, we are in this Aries energy, and the one thing about Aries is innocence. So Aries is the first sign. It is the baby. So Tony's like a little baby. And he wants lots of presents for his birthday Friday. Anyway, so I will do that. No, I'm just kidding. But the innocence is something that is a soul quality. And I think it's very interesting how a lot of humanity is very jaded about innocence. And when I say the soul, now this is a very interesting thing, that Magdalene shows. It's innocent and at the same time ancient and all-knowing. And the reason it's innocent is because it's not jaded. No matter what that God consciousness inside of us has gone through, it's still innocent. It still believes in love. It's still going to whisper in your ear, try one more time. Gosh darn it, this might be the time. It's not built the way we are, because we are like, oh God, I'm 53, I'm running out of fucking time. The soul's like, if you don't work it out, I'll get a new body, we're good, just try. I'm innocent, right? So we're going to really play with that, and that is the Aries energy. And another thing that happens right now, so Easter is completely ruled by the moon. Easter is really not originally like a Christian holiday. It's very mystical, it's very pagan. It was actually a part of the Judaic, holidays until Jesus got all wrapped up in it, and then they had to change all that. It's like, oh shit, we can't have the Messiah there, So, but the idea of resurrection comes after that full moon. The next Sunday after full moon is in Aries is when this happens. So we're going to play with resurrection in this one, and then the next Tower of Light, and then when we get to Easter, Friday, and Sunday. And this is what I want us to really breathe into. We are in the Aquarian age. It's just going to get more and more palatable. You know, Magdalene says the world will change when we change. It's all up to us, right? Resurrection is a common yogic thing in that it's called the Mahasamadhi. They look like they're dead. The heart shuts down, the breath goes away, and they are in samadhi for 3 days, and then they rise again. And Nanak did this, and there's, you know, other, not well known, but if you look into India and other saints, it's part of what they do. And when you listen to Yogananda, and there's many historians who talk about Jesus going to Mahavatar Vajaji, because he was the ultimate yogi who knew complete body, mind, and soul control. And so if this master wanted to hone the energy to heal massive amounts of humanity, he went to the best, you know. He went to all of the scholars he could in his sect, in the Essenes. You know, he went to Ireland and learned from the pagans, not very long, earth stuff. The most of his time, because when you look at the Bible, he's gone after 12, and nope, he's back at 30. Where have you been, Jesus? Well, I've been learning, you know. So he goes to this yogi, and he gets this amazing technology. Why is it important to us? Samadhi is all about breath. That's why breath and yoga and this work we do, right? It's a pranic healing tonight. We all know that when we start going, it can get overwhelming. Sometimes you get nervous. Sometimes, you know, your hand. I mean, it's a big dose of pranic. And I just want to really acknowledge how that is such a part of Magdalene's teachings and a yogic teaching. And it is the best way to deal with fear is to learn how to control your breath. And they all say it in different ways. Yogi Bhajan's thing was, if you can do the 1 minute breath, which is inhale 20 seconds, hold 20 seconds, exhale 20 seconds. Try it. It's super hard. The exhale being that long is what's really hard. But it's life force. And when we start doing things with our breath, what does it knock on? Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to do it. It knocks on the door of death. Like, what am I going to do if I can't breathe? And the truth is, when we play with that enough, your mind, body, and soul gets in sync with, your mind and body gets in sync with the soul, and the soul says, there is something else. So we learn to store prana, and then we can completely rest. So even if we don't go to samadhi, the goal is, after a while, to slow the heart rate down, to slow the breath down, after loading prana, to completely rest. That's why fasting is really important, to completely rest the mind and body. And then it gets very quiet. And then we all hear our soul. But when we get into those states, the soul is clear, and it's the only thing you hear. Can you imagine? And when you think of a master like, you know, Yogi Bhajan and Jesus Christ and, you know, Mary Magdalene and, you know, Swami Sri Yukteswar, that's why they did all that breath work, so they could get so quiet that they heard the cosmos. And they knew that they were completely one with the Father and the Mother of creation, right? And it sounds like larger than life, but it makes us really good average humans. That's really what it's supposed to do. So you can go to work, and you can be a friend, and you can be a lover, and you can do it in such a way that you have more than enough energy to stay in kindness and love. That you have more than enough energy that when, you know, something weird happens, like the dryer doesn't turn on. I mean, I was freaking out over the freaking stereo. I'm going to die if I have no music. What the fuck is that? You know, right? It's like, I'm not like on a cross. I mean, that'd be a bad day, you know? Shit. So it's like, we all have a long way to go, you know? It's like the dryer still pisses you off. So, but the truth is like, that's really, when we're talking about our spiritual growth, those are the places that you work the most. You know, I feel like as I'm on this path, when it really counts the most, I am there. You know, when it's a hard talk or I'm there. It's the weird things, the little things like, oh my God, why won't this send? You know, or whatever on my computer. Flip out, right? And it's so perfect because that's when I like, okay, Marcia, so you're not getting your way. You're not about to die. There's no Roman soldiers chasing you that I know of, right? It's like, so then I can really practice breathing, quieting, coming into my peace and strength. And that starts to filter out, right? So that when we're together and someone says something that hurts your feelings, 9 times out of 10, they didn't even know they said it that way, right? That you have the energy where you're like, you're still in love and you know it's okay. That's really what we're doing. We are in this class and in Great Divine Flow, we are in the business and in the path of honing God's light, energy. Honing it so that we shine brighter and brighter and brighter. And you know that one of the best things about that, and they say this about so many people, and so when you're like that, when you walk in the room, Susanna, people are just better. You don't have to do anything. You know, it's you got it. You just walk in and you make the room lighter. You know, I always think back to that story of Yogi Bhajan, and everyone hated this one guy. And I imagine he was like really one of those, like, didn't do his work and complain all the time. But when he was just Yogi Bhajan, never saw that side of it. Now, Yogi Bhajan's position was, because his energy was so high, that guy just didn't go there. And so when Guru Singh complained about it, he goes, he didn't say anything about the guy. He said, Guru Singh, what's wrong with you? You need to elevate, dude, because if you do, he won't be this way. And so that same concept, you know, when Christ and Magdalene and all the healers, how he healed was not him healing. It was he was so high, the person became high, and they believed they could be healed. Without their buy-in, it doesn't really work, because we are in a planet of free will. I cannot make you well. Do you want to be well? And then we do it together because we are one. So we are having this vortex of Aries energy, and also after this, 2 weeks from now, will be a blue moon. The reason it's a blue moon is because it's going to be the second full moon in Aries in the same sign, and it's Libra. So this entire month has been all, and it still is, and it's going to get really shaking you up, about relationships. Relationships is the reason the cosmos divided itself into trillions of pieces. It was perfect and it was one. It didn't need to do anything. But it became everything so it could have what? A relationship. And a relationship is where we learn. It's where we find out who we really are. And usually that's what pisses us off. It's like, oh, God. You know, it must be you. No, just kidding. But it's you. And so you bring these situations into your life so that you can love yourself more. You know? How for me, it's like, that's the one thing about, Tony and I both have Sagittarius moons. And you guys know it. I mean, we've gone through so much lately. The one thing that saves us is we have a wicked sense of humor. Like, we laugh at very inappropriate things. You know, it's like, oh, and it's good. Sometimes it pisses me off because I'll even say, no, I want to stay mad. So don't go there. I'm being mad for at least an hour. So don't even start, you know. Like this, here's a classic inappropriate. This is so inappropriate. Like when my mom passed away, this is so fucked up. And the people come and they put her and they zipped up the thing. Tony goes, oh, she's not going to be able to breathe. And they're like, ah! And I'm like, oh my God, Tony, that's so fucked up. But it made us all laugh. And it was like, you know, and I could feel my mom going, good one. That's a good one. You know, it's like, come on, lighten up, you know, because we've done all of it a million times. So we might as well do it with some grace and some love. And so tonight, our mantra is going to be hallelujah. And Yogi Bhajan said that the mantra, okay, you have some?
I just wanted to ask you if you could, when we go into the meditation, if you can explain a little bit more about some stuff that can happen from the breathing.
Oh, yes.
But when you're done with your...
Okay, yes, I will. So what was I just saying?
Hallelujah.
Oh, we're going to do hallelujah because hallelujah is, Yogi Bhajan says, it's a kriya for total self-acceptance and unconditional love. So we're really going to just wrap ourselves, we're going to get ourselves in such a sweetness as we go into this. And so, yeah, you know, whenever there's anybody new, and you are the one that's new, yep, you're the one. So the breath is going, and I do it right now because when we're going to do it, it will be dark and you'll not have any idea what I'm saying. So when we do the breath, it's like this, 2 sips through the mouth, and then out the mouth. When you're doing it, I want you to think of, you know, belly, chest. So as you're doing it, and it will get tiring because we're going to be in it a while. When you're new, you might need to take a break, or you haven't been here in a while. Sometimes you need to take a break, but come back to it. What happens though, it is literally loading life force. So the body literally starts to kind of buzz. I mean, it gets a lot of energy. What can happen is your hands can curl in, your face can feel numb. One time I was at my teacher doing this. She goes, and if you faint, don't worry, you're on the ground, you won't get hurt. I'm like, don't say that. No, so if you get too lightheaded, back off. Now you might think, what am I doing? What you're doing is you're loading yourself with pure consciousness. Prana is really consciousness. We all have consciousness. And it's like when we do this breath, it's like going to the consciousness gas station. Fill her up, you know, and we're not used to being filled up. So that energy at first can be, you know, a little unnerving. What I'll tell you this though, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more prana you can hold. And why do you want to hold prana? You'll think better, you'll have a better night's sleep. You may or may not hear the meditation. So after we do this, I'm going to be taking us through these hertz sounds. We start off at like 345, we'll end up at about 865. What that means is like it's going into these octaves of sound that the brain and the soul elevates. It feels good. It's like a brain massage, and it relaxes it and it goes higher. When we do this, we have this opportunity to be in the highest state that we need to be in this moment. And that means you might just go to sleep once the meditation starts. You know, you might hear a few things and then you're gone. Just know that what we bring in is a healing from Magdalene and the Emerald Fire. You're going to be getting the healing no matter what. And if the angels think you need to rest, you can be certain that's what you're going to do, you know. And sometimes you hear things that I'm like, I didn't say that, you know. And that's always right too. You know, it's interesting how many of you, like, even like in AA, the big book or the Bible, like, you know those things that you don't read all the time, but you read like certain things all the time? And all of a sudden you read and you go, did it always say that? I mean, is this new? Did someone put this in here? So, you know, it's like that because I feel like that's part of the angels and God. You know, it is sort of moving mirrors, and it's beyond our human understanding, and it's done out of the most love, and it's that whole thing like, well, when you're ready, you'll see it. When you're ready, you'll hear it. So whatever is supposed to happen will be perfect for you. But, you know, one of the things my teacher always says about this is the bottom line with the Tower of Light is that it brings you peace and good fortune. Period. That's why we do it. So because I am a Kundalini teacher, I do put elements of like tuning in and a couple movements, but then that's it. The rest is kind of what has come through from the Tower of Light over the years and how she wants it to go down to prepare us for the journey. So let's get ready.
Can I take a bathroom break?
Of course, go take a bathroom break. You don't want to miss this energy.